Community Board meeting today, the 20, what's the date? The 25th of October 2023. Welcome to the people who are online and to our people in public forum at the moment. We'll start our hui this morning with karakia, me noi tātou, pau hihiri, pau rārama, pau te whakairo, pau te tangata, pau o te aroha, te pau e here nei a tātou, mauri ora ki a tātou, haumi e, hui e, tātou e. Morena tātou, just a special welcome to our public forum and people online and to our staff here that are with us today. Special welcome to our councillors and Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board members, and just a special mihi to you whaitans for being in the chair seat while I've been away. So ngā mihi nui kia koutou katoa. We start today our meeting with public forum, and we've got a couple of speakers here. We've got Wally Hicks, and we hopefully have Sean Riley at some point today, followed by Linda Bracken. Just a reminder to our public forum that you have 5 minutes speaking time, and we do keep track of that time and give you a heads up if you're kind of tracking on 4.5 minutes. We'll just let you know that you've got 30 seconds or so to go. Following your 5 minutes, you don't have to fill up that 5 minutes of kōrero if you don't wish to. But you're welcome to, and then at the end of that, if there are any questions from the table, then we will follow up with some questions. Sometimes we don't have questions, so just that's the process for today. So, welcome to you, Wally Hicks, and there are a couple of seats here. We don't expect that you stand and are all witty, you can, but you're most welcome to stand if you'd like to. However, you're more than welcome to take a seat at the front.
Kia ora.
Kia ora, Wally.
Kia ora koutou katoa, and greetings all. I'm going to stand over here so that I'm addressing the manuhiri as well. Dirangi, Ngā Papatunuku, I runga I waho, tēnā koe hapuri whare o ti taitokorau, taitokorau ki te raki. Kia ora koutou, kai kanuhira, and thank you for listening to my submission. I'm going to begin with words from a song by Jewel. It's a song called Hands, and the words are, I won't be made useless, I won't be idle with despair, I wrap my faith around myself, because light the darkness most fears. And I'm going to end with lyrics from a song as well. I'm here to speak to you off the cuff, so hopefully to provide a little bit of entertainment, or in other words, to move you, and to address what my considered opinions about two subjects: the renewals of Kaikohe Town Hall and the issue of a hapuri, a kawanatanga hapuri, a local government of some kind, town government of some kind, community government of some kind. I've got in my hand 4 books, all of which I've had to hand in writing, or rewriting or republishing. This one, Our Local History of Kaikohe, begins with the words, after Captain Cook discovered New Zealand in 1769. So I don't consider it to be a particularly PC document anymore. The others they have to do with the visioning process and with a community-led consultation about the road rehabilitation that the civilian population of Kaikohe undertook in 2007, 16 or 17 years ago. So Kaikohe Town Hall renewals, they're now called renewals, they have been called renovations, and they have been called restoration, and they have been called repairs and maintenance. So in a relatively short time they've been renamed 3 different things. And I figure that if we can rename them, we can probably do something about the process that's underway. Process that's underway, we were told, and I'd like to pause at this moment and say I don't feel comfortable speaking ahead of some of the people who have delegations here, because they have done an enormous amount of work to be here. I guess I have too, but I'm just aware of that. These renovations, we were told at a community engagement meeting a week or so ago, are a major component of them and what's called non-negotiable. And I have wondered since then, and this is the steel girder, marine steel girder subfloor and frame within the town hall. In other words, the town hall is basically going to be dismantled, numbered board for board, a steel girder frame thing arranged after excavating 1,500 cubic metres from underneath it, and then put back together again. And this is going to cost something in the vicinity of $1.8 million. And it's for the purpose of what I call earthquake strengthening mania, which is going on around the place, and that even the council in Wellington, where they have earthquakes, is trying to call a tie-ho too, because they've spent $11 million on their town hall and gotten almost nowhere with the earthquake strengthening. So we have this proposal which is apparently non-negotiable, and I've been thinking, well, what if slavery was non-negotiable? We probably were told at some stage that slavery was non-negotiable, and I'm very glad that there were some people who said, ka hore, no, slavery is negotiable. So I'm here to let you know that there's at least one person in this community who does not agree, vehemently does not agree with this going ahead like it is. And there's two very good reasons. I try to speak without evidence. There's actually more than two. One is that at a meeting on the 12th of March 2023, this year, about 150 people in the bowling club at Kaikohe unanimously agreed, and it was the only thing that we unanimously agreed on. Other than that, it was the worst public meeting that I have ever attended, and I know several other people in Kaikohe who said the same thing, the worst public meeting ever. And the only thing we unanimously agreed upon is that the hall should open and that it should stay open. And so I'd like to reiterate the seriousness of that decision that we all made there, and invite you to reconsider, invite council to reconsider on the basis that there was a consultation process that didn't happen. This was because of the town hall committee that was in place before the interim one. A consultation process about what was going to happen to our town hall didn't happen. And we have a mechanism by which it could happen. And that is community-led consultation.
Right, thank you, Wally. You've got probably 10 seconds.
Okay, I have experience of community-led consultation, and here we also have the prototype for kawanatanga hapuri, for town council type government. We get together Vision Kaikohe, the people who've been in Vision Kaikohe, we get together the existing town hall committee who has delegated authority and in fact are elected public officials of council. We get them all together and we get a marae representative from each of the marae, and we form a council to conduct the community-led consultation which should have happened and didn't, and we do that as a prototype for kawanatanga hapuri community. One more thing, the lyrics of my song, my second song, it's a song by Yusuf, also known as Cat Stevens, and he said, out on the edge of darkness, there lies the peace train. I'll leave you with that.
Kia ora. Thank you, Wally. Thanks, Wally. Thank you. Do we have any partai for Wally?
Very quickly, how old is that hall, Wally, just out of interest? How old is that hall?
A lot.
How old is the hall?
The hall's 1902.
How many earthquakes have there been since then?
Sorry?
How many earthquakes did it go through since then?
Actually, if you do have a moment, it hasn't been through.
Running out of time, yeah.
It hasn't been through earthquakes, but it has been through a major flood. Nola Hanson, of blessed memory, told me that in 1943, floodwaters rose to the level of the veranda of the veranda floor of the Pink Villa. That means the town hall was largely underwater. So it survived that, and in 1986 it was refoundationed, and the only thing that's happened since 1986 in 40 years is that the southeast corner has slumped 1.25 inches, and from inside the town hall it doesn't even feel like that. It feels more like an inch.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wally. Any further questions for Wally?
Can I just say one more thing about that? It was built in 1902, which theoretically places it outside of the interest of Heritage New Zealand. However, before that, there was a small church on the site, and then the site was titles of the Kauri Timber Company. Now, Heritage New Zealand has a very, very big interest in the Kauri Timber Company, believe me, the largest sawmill in the Southern Hemisphere for the time, and they're going to want to. If 1,500 cubic metres of material are excavated from underneath that town hall, they're going to want to sift through every single cubic metre of it for artefacts.
Okay. Thank you, Wally.
Thank you.
Kia ora.
Tēnā koutou.
Kia ora. Our next public forum speaker is Mr. Riley. Kia ora, Mr. Riley. Can I just remind you, you've got 5 minutes, and I'll give you a signal at 30 seconds to go. Just before Mr. Riley starts, just letting everybody know that I'll pass around some photos that Sean has dropped off at the office for us to have a look at, please. So if they can just go around while Sean's speaking. Hey, Mr. Riley. Ai, ka pai.
Probably at the moment. What those photos show are the absolute abysmal neglect of maintenance in this town. It's not good enough, and something has to be done about it. I've got an extra photo taken yesterday, and this is down here by the way station. That long grass is part of a contract to mow. It hasn't been done for years. I've raised this issue before, several times. Nothing happens. It's simply not good enough. Why do we have to put up with things like this in this town? Those photos are only half of what that lady took. Cynthia Moran went around the town looking for things like that, and that's only half the number of photos she took. It's an absolute disgrace, and something has to be done about it, and that is something that I've been on about for quite some time. So what gives? 1989, when the council was first formed, 89 staff. 2000, 200, and today we're nearing 400. Parkinson had it right over, truly. Work expands to fill the time available, and this is a classic example. Something radical has to change in this district, otherwise anybody that wants to put Kaikohe to secede from the council, I would back them and support them strongly. I feel quite strongly about this. Something has to give, and soon. I table that. Pass it down to the chair, please.
Mr. Riley, what was this one, the A4 sheet? Where's that one taken?
That's been tabled several times previously because it's something that's
Is that
part
the
of the
Road?
That's on Thorpe Road, straight over the railway line as you go into the way station. And then go back to the day of Mike Colebrook when I first raised the issue. He checked it out, and it is part of the contract. It's not done, and it's continually neglected. It's simply not good enough.
That's quite a question, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair. Sorry, you brought that to us attention several times, Sean, thank you very much, and I think that thought Brian, we were to come back to you and say whether that was part of the contract. Yep. Or not, and I don't know.
Graham Norton left. Melissa, can I ask you to respond to Mr. Riley, because you've got that.
So, yes, so as you know, I spoke to you last time, our manager of that area has told our contractor that they need to mow that because it is in the contract, they need to do that. He has now left, so I don't know where that's at, so I will just messaging someone else in that department to say, can you follow that up, please? Because yes, you're right, it is meant to be cut. Why our contractor isn't doing it, I can't say at this point in time.
Question. Has Keith Honeston still got a mower? Because one suggests, if you're talking about
Yes, he
community
does.
control, if Keith Honeston's still got a mower, maybe we get him to mow it and then bill council and the contractor can pay it.
I've got a better idea than that.
That will certainly wake enough people.
I've got a better idea. When they do it, I would like them to include you go down the road a bit further towards where I live.
Don't
The apple tree, the grass stops there, and they could take it right through to the corner, mow that bit from the apple tree down to the corner, and the road looks 100% tidy.
It would be, but let's do the contract and let's wake them up. As soon as they get charged, they'll come back.
Mike.
Mr. Riley, has anyone from the council ever met you down there over the last couple of years and told you that this wasn't part of the contract?
I met the last CEO, I took him for a ticky tour around and showed a lot of things that weren't done, but he since left. Other than that, no.
Okay, so no one's told you it wasn't part of the contract?
No.
Okay, cool, that's okay.
But my constable checked it out for me. And
No, that's okay. I just wanted to know whether anybody had told you it wasn't part of the contract.
Oh, no,
We've established that it is.
Yep.
But I just wondered, in the time that this has been going on, and it's been going on some time, has anyone ever met you down there and told you you're wrong? Okay, cool, thank you.
So it is part of the contract, and Graham Norton, I believe, Melissa, left the last meeting I was present at to go and find Mr. Riley and meet him at that site.
And he did do that, and I followed up with Graham since because he went back to the contractor and told them that they need, why is it not being done, and here we are.
So we have a new Graham.
Not as yet.
Somebody
But I will,
acting.
somebody acting, yes, I will
So
follow that
you'll
up.
follow that up with them.
Oh, and would you also be able to find out whether or not they've been paid to do it,
Who?
the contractor? I mean, in other words, have they not done it and not charged for it? Or have they not done it and charged for it? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Riley.
Cool.
Thank you, Mr. Riley. Okay, our next public forum speaker is Linda Bracken from the Kaikohe Business Association. Kia ora, Linda.
I think I come with a brief feedback if I can. I just spent the weekend as part of the family over in the Hokianga at Waipatapata Marae, beautiful marae here, and loved seeing how busy that area was. Yes, we've had a whole lot of issues we've reported on the cattle on the road. Roading is not 100%, but I'm encouraged that things are happening over there. So a bit of positive feedback from me personally. Freeze Park is looking like the fall away into the Hokianga Inlet is being controlled and starting to look a bit more beautiful. Lovely to have a walkway down there. So that's just a bit of positive feedback that we are working and we are spread a long way with the Hokianga Kaikohe area. Kaikohe Business Association, we've had a new chair elected and he's keeping us really focused. We've got a increase of younger people, more vibrant type people, which excites me. We're actually meeting once a week to get our strategies and that sorted out. A part of our responsibilities there are the CCTV cameras. So we've just received invoices for the first big block. So we got 60k from the proceeds from Prime to look at upgrading some of the cameras. We first quote was for 46 to do the more central in type area. So that's been completed, functional, and we're now looking at surrounding the area around Sportsville and what we can do in that area there. Not Sportsville itself, but the roading around that area, including, we put in another camera that wasn't scheduled to monitor Memorial Park. So just making sure we've got eyes and ears. So I'll go there from there onto the anti-tagging. So with me coming up to a reunion last weekend was 190 years since our forebearer John Leaf crossed across the Hokianga Bar. So that's been my focus for the last month, and my injury to my hand has slowed me down. But getting back on board with the anti-tagging, this morning I drove past and there was a new one on the wall, so I went back, got some paint, painted it out. But we've got a few more volunteers that are putting up their hand, and we're wanting to get back and address what's come and bring it back to a standard state where we can respond a bit more. So thank you for the funding that came through for that trust to enable us to get out in the truck and do that. Ongoing work, but quite exciting. Something else that I find exciting is looking at what came out of a public meeting for concern about the non-compliance of bikes, push bikes, motorbikes and cars going through town, whether it's wheelies or speed outs. So what we're trying to do is run an event first to get some of the young guys who are learning to do ride motorbikes. So get them trained and equipped, but it's the beginning of a whole line of trying to address the issue from the ground roots. So we're called Ride for Life and been working as a working group. Came out of a community meeting, ongoing work is happening, but on the 3rd of December they're going to have a workshop community event where young men can go along, get their practical and sit down and turn around in the same day pass their theory. So the flow-on effects is getting more people, more control, bringing in ACC, bringing all the other support agencies and seeing something happen there. One area of concern that's I'm not sure how to approach it, so just putting up a little flag of warning there is the Merino Court area outside the library where we've got public toilets. It's become a gathering place for some people who, we've got someone who stays in a car, sleeps in a car there, and we've got a lot of night drinking and partying happening there. One positive one, out of a break-in to our bike shop, the video footage was caught and they tracked the guy and the bikes went down that area, and one of the people who were in that area, the break-in was on a Saturday morning, he was in court on Monday morning. So good to have it, thank you. So that's all, thank you very much for your time.
Bye, Linda. Anybody got any questions for Linda?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you to our public forum speakers this morning. We next have deputation, and that's Ken Ross, and he's here to speak to us on the Kaikohe community plan from the working group. Cool. Kia ora, Ken.
Kia ora, Kia. Tēnā koutou katoa. Alice Cross is here from Kaikohe, is the representative from the working party of that group, and I'd like Alice to talk to you about the process of the plan.
Ka whai? Ai. Morena tātou. Kia ora. Oh, okay. My name is Alice Cross. I live down in Horiki. I've been back home for the last 10 years and everything, all that time solid. In that time, I've discovered that Horiki has never in its lifetime had a plan that was presented to the council. I'd really like to acknowledge Ken Ross here for all the mahi he's helped us. Without Ken, we would not have had a plan. So I really thank him a lot from the community point. We this is our plan, we finally got it together. I'm not sure if you all have a copy, but we've tried to do as much as we could with all the submissions that were handed in. Our people are really receptive towards it and everything, as long as they didn't have to do the mahi, that's where I came in. So, I've just got nothing much to say, it's all within this little booklet that we've presented. I know Ken would like to have a few words to say, so that's Kaikohe, so I'm actually going to leave it at this point, unless you want me to answer some questions, I'm okay for that.
There's three things I'd like to address. One of them is the importance of a community plan for unifying a community. Not everybody in a community agrees with everything that's in a community plan, but everybody that's in a community can see their input either in the plan or the supporting documents of that plan. So the fact that Horiki has got a community plan that talks to the aspirations of that community and talks about the Horiki they want in the future is really important as we go into a period in human history where there are vast uncertainties and huge challenges that communities need to be resilient to. So the community plan is a really important tool, and it's really, really sad that this is probably the first community plan that most of the people on this board are seeing, and it will probably be the last because of the way that council has restructured itself, and communities won't have the opportunity to do this kind of planning like they have over the last 18 years in this organisation. So this is an important document as far as I'm concerned. Of course I'm biased because I worked in community and had community focus, but so have you folk. The other thing I'd like to talk about is that the history of council in Horiki and the time that I was associated with council is rather abysmal. We tried to get a plan going back in about 2011, but that was smashed by Wayne Brown and David Edmonds. And so Horiki didn't get a plan, but what they did get was a cycle trail for wealthy cyclists ending in an area of the far north, which is depressed, deprived, it's challenged in a major way. And that cycle trail was an opportunity to work with the community and to use the cycle trail as a facility and as a training facility to lift the community, and that opportunity was never taken up. It was never taken up by the person that was the head of infrastructure, or with the CEO, or with the mayor. And so a cycle trail was put into Horiki, and Horiki was done unto. And so we put people who pay quite a bit of money to come to the far north into an area at the end of our fabulous cycle trail, to an area where they can't even get a glass of water. They can't get anything in Horiki because council didn't take the opportunity to work with the community and do that lifting of the community, the enabling of the community when it could have been done. So the beauty of the plan for you as a community board, now you don't have a community development department, is being able to work with the community and compensate for that really dreadful situation that council created quite some time ago. There's a lot of room for improvement in Horiki, especially for the relationship between the community and the council. The third thing I'd like to say is it has always been a tradition, habit, whatever you'd like to call it, for a community board to grant a sum of money to a community that has just completed its community plan. Community plans are written by communities at the invitation of council. We invite them to do it. They put in hours, hundreds of hours when you think about it. Wally, who was involved in the Kaikohe plan, worked for 2 years on the first, 18 months on the first plan and nearly 2 years on the second plan. communities put in very big hours to get their community plan written, socialised within the community and brought here. So it's a big undertaking, and it's done with a lot of genuine intent and
30
feeling.
seconds, Ken.
And so we have to make an effort on our part to make things work. And the way that the community boards get a chance to make that work is by providing a sum of money that's usually at the order of about $5,000 for the community that have written the plan to go after one of the low-hanging fruits, one of the objectives in their community plan that's got a short time frame. So we would like, in the near future, to come back to you from Horiki with an application to the board for some funding for a project to get that relationship going. But just as importantly, we would like to have an ongoing relationship with the board or a person from the board so that the council and the community can start working together. Thank you.
No, thank you, Ken. Thank you, Alice. Any part-time for either Ken or Alice?
Yes, thank you. First, thanks, Ken, for all the work you've done, and thank you, congratulations to Alice and the community for getting the first community plan done. I share your sentiments that really it's an invitation to council to do the plan, but we've been very poor in actually picking them up and using them both to bring that information into the long-term plan and also give effect to your plan. We talk about the word being community driven, yet we don't seem to be take that too seriously. So I do have a question for Alice, and that is, with the cycleway coming in there, thank you for the plan. With the cycleway coming in there, I strongly recommend you look at Tracy Dalton, because part of the cycleway is intention is to actually create, and that was put that way, to actually create opportunities for businesses and training and so on, as Ken has reiterated. Babe is on there as well, would agree with me. And there is a lady called Megan, I think she's still on that part of the cycleway. If you make that connection, we will look at, we're real keen, Cycleway Trust will be real keen to look at opportunities where we can also assist and help, even with some funding, so that they can achieve their objectives, you can achieve their objectives. So would it be possible for you to please do that? I can give you contact details through King or wherever.
Yes, I can do that quite easily. I just wanted to build on what you're just saying at the moment, to do with the cycle trail, that in essence, the cycle trail, because of the nature of Horiki, and the only place, public place we had then, for them to even get a drink of water is no longer open to them, and that's the pub. And you've got to book in to be able to get access into the hotel. So therefore, it's really embarrassing. You know, I've come down home from shopping and picked up cyclists who are standing under a tree trying to stay out of the weather, and they're absolutely covered in mud, you know, because they clumped up to this mud. So I just piled them into my car and took them to the pool that had a tiny bit of shade. You know, I felt so embarrassed about it, because at the end of the cycle trail there is nothing. I'm not sure if you're aware, but Horiki is really quite it's all private land, it's all Māori land around there, and Māoris just ain't, they're not going to, they've never been approached, I think, is the story, to do anything. They did try on their own back, but it just went fizzle, especially one time when we had Manunu Day, and we had all these buses coming through to Manunu. And they were told not to stop, and all my people had their stalls and everything. They were just beside themselves with anger because they cannot provide food and just go to wastage. You know, so then I said, oh, we'll bring it up to Manunu. You know, it didn't happen for them. So I just wanted to point out that when we have cycle trail, people coming down, it's really good. You know, I've got them going past my place. You know, but there's just nowhere for them. They go to Manunu, and even there, the mission house isn't open a lot of the time for them to go in. So we've got a dilemma there, and we need to be able to do something. So our thought is to try and bring prosperity back into Horekē by stopping all that rubbish that's happening in Horekē. There's some real crazy stuff happening with our younger generation. You know, like we've got grass verges there, and they're just mud holes because they're just doing wheelies in them. If they took those away and put off-street parking, because they've got no parking in Horekē. You know, when you pull up, you park on the road because you go straight onto the grass verges. In the winter, it's just, you know, we've got that. So with the cycle trail, we were hoping that we'd turn things around for Horekē, you know.
So what I said before, Manager, very quickly, is please make that contact. The Cycleway Trust is aware of some of those issues, and definitely the cycleway ones. And also, I have contacted Northland Inc. and said, can you please bring effect to our community plans in the far north in terms of your mahi? And they are agreeing to do that. So I'm trying to put some weight behind all our community plans there, so include what Wally's done and others done, Horekē plus Rawan plus everybody else. So, yep.
Thank you, Councillor Husich. Member McVeigh.
Yeah, just quickly, Mahi Fire, it's a beautiful plan. We did have a chance to have a look over it, so that's really great. I really encourage those applications to come in for you know, the sort of amount that Ken's mentioned for some low-hanging fruit, just to kick things off a little bit. That's probably something that we overall are looking to support in our this community board strategic plan. We're really looking to empower and support our areas that haven't received a lot of love, and Horekē is definitely on our list. What that looks like, we're still working through that, but we are fighting to get things to our other beautiful townships and places. And Horekē, as Councillor Vucic has said, we are trying, you know, every time other opportunities come up through, say, footpaths and so on, definitely we have talked about trying to get access through other fundings to support these things. So there's no promises, but we are trying, and to have a plan that we can show really helps.
Is there something that you would pick out of your plan that was a priority for the community?
May sound crazy, but, you know, our tamariki stand in the rain because we've got no bus shelters.
And is that
they have tried to go through the schools, but apparently the schools no longer support that sort of thing.
So that sits within your plan, that?
Aye.
Okay. And as Jessie, as Member McVeigh has said, you know, we encourage you to apply for community funds. Yeah, kia ora, thank you for your time and your efforts. Yeah, that's really, really appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speakers for today are Philippa Kingi and Louis Elliott, representing Te Hauro Ngāpuhi. Kia ora kōrua.
Thank you for your time. Hi. So, I'm Louis Elliott. I'm the PO for People and Capability Group, and this is Philippa Kingi. Philippa is our PO for Service Delivery. Excuse me for shakes. I might sound a little bit witty here. Where our speaker that was due to be here unfortunately had to attend to a tangi, so we're just picking up for him. But in just my apologies for that. But in short, we're here to seek funding for us to have our Christmas parade this year. So I can hand you over to Philly.
Yes, no problem. Kia ora koutou. So as Louis said, apologies that we may not be able to answer all your questions. We have just found out this morning to come along and just to support the application that has been submitted for the Kaikohe Christmas party. We did request 20,000 and that 20,000 was to ensure that we were covering as much as we can. The aim for us really is to build bonds within the community, foster a community spirit. Normally around this time, Christmas, a lot of whānau, if not struggling, but are normally into a bit of a giving spirit. So this is something that we wanted to tap into, and the event will allow us to do that. Also, we want to ensure that there's unity, connection and positive change as well. And also not with our tamariki, for them to be able to build connections, bonds, friendships, even beyond the event as well. I know they do a lot of that at school anyway, so we want to be able to provide that. Yeah, we just want to capture the entire community as well. So regardless of age, culture, religion, whatever that might look like, we want to capture that. So that's pretty much all I think. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, kia ora, tōmatu. Oh, any questions? Any whātai for our speakers? Jess.
Oh, tēnā kōrua. Yeah, nothing like being put on the spot, hey? Yeah. But I just wondered, if you didn't get the full amount, would the event still go ahead? Like how, what are you thinking?
Yes, the event will still go ahead.
We want it to go ahead.
We want it to go ahead, so.
Just might look a little different, perhaps.
And is this similar to past Christmas events that have been held in Kaikohe?
Yes, so there'll be a, the plan is to have the registration. Sorry, I didn't bring the flyer. I only bought one, sorry, I was only given one. So it is to, yeah, it's going to be followed. So we're going to be calling out for registrations for anyone that wants to put a float through. Yeah, so the float, it will start very similar to last year, so it's exactly the same as last year. So we'll have registrations going out for floats, and then it'll be followed by a bit of like a Christmas in the park. So that is the plan for that. Yeah.
Christmas in which park?
Plan is to we are
yeah.
Wait, over there.
Oh,
yes,
okay. Sorry, I have to whip out, but I just want to say that last year's Christmas here in Kaikohe was amazing. Our kura was part of that, and so were many of the other business organisations and schools in our town, and it was amazing. One little thing that I have mentioned to Jay was we just needed somebody to start us off like the Piriwiri tour band like we've had in the past. So they're more arija, one or other. Yeah, so
okay.
Is that a band?
I'll spoil you up on the way.
Yes, oh, yes. Okay, so thank you for your presentation this morning. Thank you. Okay. Oh, you don't have to do it now. Oh, okay. Sure. Okay, kia ora everybody. Our next speaker is my whanaunga, Mike Te Wake from Waiho Marae. Kia ora, Mike.
Kia ora. Hoi anō, tēnā tātou. Tīmata pēr, ki roto i o tātou nei tini mate rātou ko nunumi ki te pō. Ki runga i a mātou ki roto te raro, tētahi o tātou nei to maiti. Ki hai puta te moana i te rātū rā. Ki runga i a hau, ki runga ngā te manawa marae. Ka whanaunga tērā e tiraha mai rā. Nā reira, ki o tātou nei tini mate e moi, e moi. Tātou ko hui mai rā, te whare e tūne, te papa e wahora, tēnā koura oti rā kia koutou. Ko te hia reo, te Pākehā. Hoi anō i runga i tērā, tēnei au, mai te wake e whakakanohi i tōku marae, ko Waiho mi ārua, tōku whare tupuna, ko Waimiri rangi. Nā reira ka moe a Waimiri rangi, i a kairewa, nā, ko puta tātou katoa tēnā. A bit like my whanaunga before me, I'm thrown in the deep end. My whānau put together application 29 years ago. We, as a community in Pangaru, established a sort of Pāwals kaupapa which incorporates our 6 marae. Mā tihe marae miti miti, Waiparera marae in Te Rangi, Waihau marae in Waihau, Ngāti Manawa Waipuna in Pangaru, and Motuti, Tamatea marae in Motuti. It's been a successful competition for the last 27 years. It incorporates, and it was heavily driven by our elders of the community back then, about whanaungatanga. Instead of sitting in silos, there's 6 marae is about the unity of bringing us together. Successfully being this competition or kaupapa, it attracts up to 500 uri descendants of our 6 marae, and the cause is, you know, hauora for the whole family. We go as young as 5 years old, and our eldest who ever played in this tournament was 78 years old. So it's a whole whānau dynamic. We also celebrate our kaumātua and kuia who sit there, and as they are the ambassadors of our marae. And so, you know, they're the ones with all the banter, throwing the knives around in that whanaungatanga and that. So this year we are hosting, Waihau Marae is hosting, on the 28th of December for a community on the northern shores of the Hokianga. It's the biggest event in our calendar. It surpasses anything rugby. It's probably matched by a tangihanga of someone who's significant. It brings our whānau back from Australia in the heart of competition, and in the mauri of whanaungatanga. Everyone likes to make sure their marae wins. However, it's also the deep crux of this kaupapa is it's actually a fundraising for our marae. So if you have the hosting rights, it's the opportunity to fundraise for your marae. The thing we're struggling with our communities on our marae is people power. And so coming through these last couple of years, we don't have many people living at home, but this is the event that brings everyone home. And so we're just looking for funding to help us support this kaupapa, which is essentially, after some of our fishing comps in Mitimiti, it's the biggest event in our calendar on the North Hokianga. Again, representation from 6 marae, and just the multitudes that come home. It's our biggest event. Nā reira atu I tērā, tukuna ngā mihi kia koutou, ko whai wā tēnei koretake te tūki mui au koutou, e whare ki hia, engari I runga I te mana o tōku marae, waihau, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Tēnā koe. Any tātai for Mike?
I do. Yeah, kura mai. You say it's second biggest event. Any idea of the numbers that you're looking at?
Yeah, we have had surveys as some maraes have. It's been some milestones that they needed to collate for some of their fundings, and I think the last time Mitimiti hosted it was around 740 people. Yeah, that gathered in our little community of Pangaru.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. I hope your roads can stand up.
They can't. They can't. They really can't. But that's another kaupapa.
Any other questions for Mike? Kaori? Kia ora, Mike. Mahi for all the mahi you're doing at home. Ka pai. Moving into online now, we have Lydia. Oh, no. Wairamaki Play Centre, Megan. Not.
Hi.
Oh, kia ora, Megan.
Hi, it is actually Lydia. I'm just using Megan's computer, so.
Oh, right, okay, so it's Lydia. Kia ora, Lydia.
Kia ora koutou, ko Courtney Davis, Tukuanga, kei Waimamaku aho. I am Courtney and I live in Waimamaku and I'm the haere for the Waimamaku Play Centre for fundraising.
And hi, I'm Lydia Ambler from Waimamaku Play Centre. I'm the president here. I've got a 3.5-year-old and an 18-month-old that attend. So we're just applying today for some funding. We have a equipment list set by Play Centre Aotearoa that has the minimum that we should be meeting for all of our toys and equipment that we centre. And we don't have a lot of the equipment that we should have, a lot of essential play items that are essential.
Lydia, can I just stop you there for a minute? Can you just slow down a little bit? The speaker is not the best.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so we're just applying for essential equipment that we need to meet the minimum standards we need for the MOE requirements of our play centre. So we have a lot of areas that we don't have any equipment, such as our science area and our Te Ao Māori resources are really lacking. And as well, just in general, a lot of our equipment is old, a lot of it's broken, missing pieces, and just not fit for purpose. And so we're really just wanting to give the centre a bit of a refurbish for the learning of our current tamariki, so for making sure there's still equipment here for future tamariki that are here. My sons, their dad actually came here when he was a child, and we're really hoping that we can refit this so that it can be here for when my children's children come to the play centre as well. Yeah, so we're just wanting to just make sure that we meet all the standards so that the learning for the kids is, you know, available to them. And we also, we could charge fees at our centre, but we choose not to because we want the centre to be accessible to our community, and a lot of people wouldn't be able to afford the fees. But it does mean that we have to fund these kind of projects in a different way, which is why we've approached you. So, yeah.
So we actually have a large role here at the Waimamaku Play Centre.
Yeah, so we 2 years ago only had 2 tamariki on our roll, and I just enrolled our 16th tamariki last week. So we've had a huge increase in numbers, and a lot of it is because there isn't the ECE services available in the area, and a lot of people are wanting that education and that support. And there's a lot of people, such as who don't have whānau in the area too, and so it really provides a village for the families in our area too. So yeah, it's really thriving. The centre's better than it has been in years, and we're just wanting to kind of keep that momentum up and provide a space that's going to be suitable for the kids and be here for, you know, years to come. So.
And we're applying for equipment that's good quality, so we want it to be long lasting for future generations.
Yeah, you know, like we could go and buy things from Kmart, and we have, because that's all we can afford, but it breaks within a year, you know, especially when you've got young kids. And so we're really wanting to get that kind of easy standard equipment that's going to last.
Any part-time?
Any part-time from anybody? So you get no funding from ministry?
We do. We get funding from the Ministry of Education, but it only barely covers our operating costs. And actually, for our budget for this, it doesn't cover our operating costs. So we're having to fundraise just to cover our basic costs, which means that we have no money extra to do projects like this. So,
in order to have our centre open, we need to employ a session facilitator. So most of our budgeted funding stream goes towards paying their listeners. So it doesn't leave anything for equipment upgrades.
Okay, and how long has the centre been operating?
I actually don't know the exact date, but it's been over 40 years. I know at least that. It's been around for a long time. As I say, my husband went as a child. So I think Louis Warrenberg and his wife opened it.
Okay, and you've both been involved for how long?
I've been involved with Play Centre for 3 years, and this Play Centre for 2. I was at Rawene Centre for a year.
And I'm a new member, so I've got a 8-month-old Peppy, and we've been coming here since she was 3 months old.
Okay, all right, thank you both. Any further questions? Thank you both. for joining us today.
Thank
Well
you.
done. So we don't have, we've got no inch, okay, all right. Right, kia ora everybody, we'll move on to apologies.
Chair, my computer's been taken away to get onto the Wi-Fi. It's been away for about an hour now. Could we be able to adjourn so I can join the meeting, like when it gets back? I
Sorry Mike, I missed that, what's been taken
my
away?
computer's been taken away.
Oh, okay,
Um,
right, oh, that's a good solution, Harmony, perfect. Can you move that to Mike and we can carry on? Do we need the door closed? No. Kaikohe. All right. Yes, that's all right, that's all right, that's fine. Okay, so do we have any apologies for today? Can we? No. Okay, I just need to declare a conflict with the Waiho Marae application. It's an application, isn't it? Yes, it is. So just declaring that conflict. I won't be participating in any decisions around that funding today. Okay, moving on to item 6.1, recommendation that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board confirms the minutes of the meeting held 27th of September 2023 as a true and correct record. Do I have a mover for that, please?
Yeah, I'll move.
Thank you, Member Fay, and a seconder, please. Thank you, Member Felia. All those in favour? Aye. Carried. Personal member report. Here we go. The next recommendation on page 16. Recommendation that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board note the report from member Jessie McVeigh. I'll move that recommendation. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Member Felia. All those in favour? Aye. Aye. Would you like to speak to anything in your report?
Just that one of the biggest items in Hokianga for many, many years, as noted in our strategic plan for this board and hugely, is the resource consent renewal applications or applications for Opanoni o Māpere and Kaikohe wastewater treatment plants. There was supposed to be a public meeting, but the commissioners in charge of that process moved to have it in writing, and Far North District Council has the final right of reply to put in the final application this Friday, and I thank all of the members who supported the letter that went to all elected members and various staff to really ask them to take heed of the submissions that were put in for the amended application about a month ago.
Kia ora, thank you for that, and thanks for all your hard work around that big kaupapa. Moving on to page 20, we have our event investment funding applications. The recommendation that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board approves the sum plus GST if any, to be paid from the board's community grant fund account to Te Hauora o Ngāpuhi for the Kaikohe Christmas Parade to support the following community outcomes: proud, vibrant communities, communities that are healthy, safe, connected and sustainable. Do I have a mover for that?
Yep, okay, yep.
Did I mention that? Or did I leave that out?
Yep.
Oh, sorry, approves the sum of $5,000, sorry. And
Yep.
you're moving that?
I'll second that.
Councillor Husich and seconded by Member McVeigh. Okay, all those in favour? Aye. Ka pai. Let's move, thank you. Second recommendation is that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board approves the sum $2,500 to be paid from the board's community fund account to Hush Dance for the end of year showcase to support the following community outcomes.
Excuse me, but I'd just like to declare a conflict of interest in that area.
Kia ora, thank you. To support the following community outcomes: proud, vibrant communities, communities that are healthy, safe, connected and sustainable. Do I have a member for that? Thank you. Member Gundry and Member McVeigh seconding that. All those in favour? Aye. Any against? Carried. Thank you. That's our events funding. Moving on to funding applications on page 24. Nope, page 24, there we go. Okay, the first recommendation is that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board approves a sum of $1,534 to be paid from the board's community fund account to Village Arts for Kohukohu Historic Walk brochure to support the following community outcomes: proud, vibrant communities, communities that are healthy, safe, connected and sustainable. Do I have a mover for that? Thank you, Councillor Vucic, and Member Gundry is seconding that motion.
Just speaking to that, when I did visit, that was part of their community plan. They had that in there, so it fits with what we're trying to do in the community plan as well.
That's great. Okay, all those in favour? Aye. Any against? Carried. The next recommendation that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board approves the sum of $4,000 from the board's placemaking fund to Waiho Marae for the gazebos to be used at the 2023 Marae Wars event and for future community events to support the following community outcomes: proud, vibrant communities, communities that are healthy, safe, connected and sustainable. That was moved by Member Velia and seconded by Member Gundry. All those in favour? No. Any against? And I abstain. Okay, that's carried. The next recommendation that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board approves a sum of $5,000 to be paid from the board's placemaking fund account to Waimamaku Play Centre for costs towards upgrade and replacement of materials to support the following community outcomes: proud, vibrant communities, communities that are healthy, safe, connected and sustainable. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Member McVeigh. Seconded, Councillor Vucic. All those in favour? Aye. Any against? Carried. Next recommendation is that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board approves a sum of $5,000 to be paid from the board's placemaking fund account to Tahike United Community Centre for fencing the area surrounding the Tahike Hall to support the following community outcomes: proud, vibrant communities, communities that are healthy, safe, connected and sustainable. I'll move that motion. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Member Velia. All those in favour? Aye. Any against? Carried.
Just a note, Madam Chair, that with some of the 5K over, I think they need to actually have somebody speak.
Through the chair, Angeline Bush was supposed to be here today. We don't know where she is. She hasn't answered phones or emails.
We'll pass it anyway, so it's late.
It's
I think it's all fine from what from the overall was put it rejected, but.
Okay, thank you. Management of funding applications. Moving on to page 57 now to the summer 2023 rural travel funding application.
Is it possible I can just make a comment?
Yes, you can make a comment.
Yeah, just a comment. Like, I love all of these kaupapa, but some of, I'm wondering, Catherine, whether you probably already do this, but some of the applications coming through sort of are falling sort of quite outside what we're asking them to do in terms of 50% and providing, and also so understanding that process and also reporting. So I'm just wanting to make a note of that. It's not about the kaupapa, it's just about the process, so it can be fair for everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, item 7.4, recommendation that Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board allocates rural travel funding in accordance with the recommendations received from Sport Northland as follows: Hokianga Sports Club $1,700, Horeke School $250, Kaikohe Young Stars $1,000, Te Kura Omanaya $750, Rawene School $800. Do I have a mover for that recommendation? Thank you, Member Gundry, and seconded by Member Ophelia. All those in favour? Aye. Any against? Carried.
It's actually a huge mistake. They wish to pay it for us.
Yes. I was quite quick there. Okay, moving on to page 71, the rural travel funding reports. We have about 5 of them, I think, yes. So the recommendation is that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board note the project report received from Mid-North United Sports, Kaikohe College, Omanaya School, Pangaru School, Rawene School. I'll move that recommendation. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Member Gundry. All those in favour? Aye. Any against? Carried. Moving on to page 73 in our agenda. Item 8.1, the action sheet update, October 2023. Recommendation that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board receive the report Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board action sheet update, October 2023. I'll move that recommendation. Do I have somebody to second it? Thank you, Member McVeigh. All those in favour? Aye. Any against? Carried. Oh, maybe all right. Yes. Oh, good. Okay. So I'm going to ask, we're at the end of our meeting, and I'm just going to apologise now at the end for not, and she's gone. Anyway, just to welcome Imri Dunn, our new democracy advisor, who is taking over from Marlima, who is, welcome Imri to the closing prayer. Sorry, I forgot to welcome you at the start of the meeting, my apologies. It's just really nice to have you here with us. Yes. Oh, and here's our fire Dolly. Thank you, Dolly, for your mahi and for the transitioning of Imri to our Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board. Te aroha, te whakapono, me te rangi mani e tātou tātou e. Kia ora kōrua, thank you, Tanya. And while you're standing, Kaitans, hei a koe te karakia whakamutunga. Me te aroha o te aroha, me te whiwhi ngā tahitanga, ki te wairua tapu, ake, everybody. Where are Sean's photos? Did somebody have those somewhere?
Carly, can you confirm the live has finished?